Are you struggling with knee pain and going round and round in circles with the old method, which is massage, taping, or traditional physio? You're no closer to getting back to the activities or the sport that you love doing. In this video, I'm going to break down the 5-step process I use with all of my clients to fix their knee pain and get them back to sport and activities pain-free and stronger, fitter and more confident than before. So the first thing we need to do when someone's got knee pain is actually assess them. So before we jump into the strength testing, we need to warm up the knee and get some blood flow into the area just so we reduce the risk of further injury and we also reduce your pain a little bit as well. So we're going to need some basic machines and gym equipment for testing, just to preface that. So jump on the leg extension machine. Your gym should have one of these. Jump on and do 2 to 3 sets of a 45-second hold with a slight knee bend on each side, as shown in the video. And if you imagine that scale up from 0 to 10, 10 is max effort, 0 is no effort. You want to be around that 3 to 4. So we don't want you to fatigue you for the strength testing, but just to get a bit of blood flow into the area. And then from here, we'll go into the first exercise, which is the single leg extension. And I want you to build up to a 10 rep max on this exercise. Do this on each side and rest a good amount, rest 3 to 4 minutes between sides so you're not fatiguing each side. And what we're looking for here, is there a massive deficit side to side and what numbers are you actually getting? So a gold standard for a 10 rep max on the single quad extension or leg extension is 0.4 times your body weight. So to make it easy, if someone was 100 kilos, that would be 40 kilos on the leg extension on each side. Next, we have the single leg hamstring curl. So jump on a hamstring machine. You can either do this standing, seated or lying, depending on what machine you've got available. And we'll go for a 10 rep max again on each side. And we're aiming for 0.25 times your body weight. So again, if someone was 100 kilos, that would be 25 kilos for a 10 rep max on each side. Next, we want to have a look at the calves. So we're going to go on the single leg calf raise. This is easiest to do in a Smith machine, but if you haven't got a Smith machine, you can use dumbbells or kettlebells in your hand to overload this. And ideally here, we're going for 0.5 times your body weight for a 5 rep max. So again, based off if someone was 100 kilos, that would be 50 kilos for this exercise. And then do the same thing, but with a single leg bent knee calf raise. So you're bending your knee slightly and same thing here, 0.5 times body weight for a 5 rep max. So that was looking at your peak strength numbers. Next, we want to go into your capacity. So essentially your muscular endurance. So we've got 3 tests for this. The first test is the single leg wall sit. So set up next to a wall, just go as deep as you're comfortable with the knee pain. And then the gold standard is 90 seconds on each leg. And again, make sure you're resting a good 3 to 4 to 5 minutes between sides here. The next exercise is the hamstring hip thrust. Gold standard here is 30 reps on each leg. And then lastly, we have a calf raise capacity test, which is just a calf raise from the floor on the single leg. And the gold standard here is 30 reps on each leg. So once I've tested someone's movement and strength, then we can go into the different phases of knee rehab. So phase 1, I'd advise doing this 3 to 4 days a week. A single leg extension hold, you go for 3 to 4 sets of a 45-second hold at RP 8 or 9. RP stands for rate of perceived exertion. So again, if you think out a scale of 10 is max effort, 0 is no effort, somewhere in that 8 or 9 range for 3 to 4 sets on each leg. And obviously week by week, we want to be increasing the weight on this and getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So a little bit of pain is okay, but just don't push it above that 3 out of 10. If 10 was the max pain, 0 was no pain. With all these exercises, just don't push it above a 3 out of 10. Then we're going to attack the glutes. So a good way to do this is the glute bridge. You can start off with a double leg glute bridge, nice and easy. Body weight, go for 3 to 4 sets of 12 to 15 reps. Once this is easy, then go on to a single leg glute bridge for 3 to 4 sets of anywhere from 10 to 12 reps. Load this really heavy with a dumbbell or kettlebell in your hip crease. Then we want to look at the hamstrings, which are on the back of the knee, using the foam roller bridge. So set up on a foam roller, feet flat on the foam roller, slight tuck of your pelvis, about a few centimeters off the floor, and then hold this position for 45 to 60 seconds for 3 to 4 sets. Once this gets easy, then you can move on to a single leg foam roller bridge, which is obviously a lot more challenging because all your weight is on one leg. Next, we want to have a look at the calves. So go for a straight knee calf raise here, 3 to 4 sets of 8 reps. Load this as heavy as you can, nice, slow and controlled tempo. And I only want you to go from that stretch position in the bottom to a neutral position. So not full range of motion, just what we call a lengthened partial. So stretch position up to neutral. And then lastly, we want to focus on some lateral movement and train the adductors and abductors. So the adductors are on the inside of the leg, so the groin, and then the abductors are the glute medius and glute minimus on the outside of the hips. So the easiest way to do this is to set up with a cable machine like this. So we want to do abduction, which is moving the outside leg away from the body. And then we're going to do adduction on the same leg. So you spin around and you're moving that inside leg towards the body. Go for 12 to 15 reps on each side here and go straight from abduction to adduction on one leg and then swap sides. Phase 2 is very, very similar. The only thing that's going to change is we're going to add in some active movements. So on the leg extension holds, we're only going to do 2 or 3 sets. And then after that exercise, we're going to add in a single leg extension for 2 to 3 sets of anywhere from 8 to 10 reps. All the other strength work can again stay the same in terms of exercises, just keep increasing the time held or the weights on these. Then we go into phase 3. So still 3 days of strength stuff, but we're now going to add in some jumping as well. So we've got 3 days of strength work, and then I would add in 2 days of plyometric workouts. This is just going to introduce a little bit of jumping. The simplest and easiest way to do this is to lie on your back and do the wall pogo. So knees bent at 90 degrees, take one of your legs off, slight tuck of your pelvis, so you're lifting your hips just off the floor, and then you're going to push off the wall, go for 3 to 4 sets of 15 to 20 reps. After this, then we can go on to some pogo pops. So get into a standing position and you can do 2 sets of 30 to 45 seconds in a pogo pop position. So this isn't a double leg pogo where we're jumping really high. You're literally coming half an inch off the floor, nice and quick, nice and fast. The next exercise and the final one, the plyometric workout, is the double leg pogo. So a little bit higher than the pogo pops, 3 to 4 inches off the floor, 2 to 3 sets of anywhere from 15 to 20 reps. And again, you can do this twice a week alongside your strength work. The only thing that's changing in the strength work is instead of the single leg extension, we're going to swap that for a short split squat. So set up in a staggered stance, your weight is going to stay forward, and then you're simply going to bend your knee, tap that back knee on the floor, and then push really hard through the middle of your foot as you're standing up. You can overload this with dumbbells or kettlebells in your hand, 3 sets of anywhere from 8 to 10 reps. Then phase 4, again, same setup as phase 3. In the strength work, instead of the short split squat, I'd like you to do a shrimp squat, setup as shown. And obviously this is a lot more challenging because all your body weight is going through one leg. Once this gets comfortable, then we want to go into a heel elevated pistol squat. The gold standard here is to get to 3 to 4 sets of 10 reps at body weight. Once you've done that, then go even further and add some weight in like I'm doing in the video with a kettlebell or dumbbell in your hand. And these are a staple that you can just keep doing to continue to build your quad strength and reduce the risk of getting knee pain in the future. All the other strength work can again stay the same in terms of exercises, just keep increasing the time held or the weights on these. In terms of the plyometric work, that can progress. So instead of the wall pogo on the floor, start off with the pogo pops because you're stood up, so it's a little bit more advanced. 2 to 3 sets of 30 to 45 seconds, then go into a double leg pogo, 2 to 3 sets of 15 to 20 reps. And then we can start to do some more advanced plyometric work. So some hopping and bounding, just a bit of variety here. Pick 2 or 3 of these different variations and go for 3 to 4 sets of each one. Build this up nice and gradually. There isn't a golden rule for plyometrics. Just make sure you're not overdoing these because when you're doing them, you won't feel like you're fatigued, but you'll notice 1 or 2 days later, your legs and everything will be feeling a little bit sore.